The News 4 Rundown starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the News 4 Rundown. I'm Un Yang. It's Monday, July 27th. We begin tonight with a tragedy in Loudoun County involving a former Washington Commanders coach. The wife of Eric Bieniemy, the former assistant head coach for the team, was shot multiple times in the couple's Ashburn home. Now the couple's son is facing charges. Drew Wilder is following the story for us tonight.
A heartbreaking story and chaotic new video tonight that shows the moments that the Loudoun County Sheriff responded to this one Loudoun townhouse when they say the son of Eric Bieniemy shot his own mother inside the family's home twice. New video shows SWAT with rifles drawn moving in on the Ashburn home of former Commanders assistant coach and current Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. His wife Mia is inside and has just been shot by the couple's 27-year-old son, according to law enforcement.
Oh, they're breaking down the door.
Neighbors shared this video with News 4. It shows the moment the door is smashed in and the rescue unfolds. Moments later, deputies carry a woman down the sidewalk. Then a man is taken out in handcuffs. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office says 27-year-old Elijah Bieniemy shot and seriously wounded his mother, Mia. Tonight, he's in jail without bond on multiple felony charges, including malicious wounding. And the family's neighbors say the community can hardly believe what happened.
The son's always very quiet, doesn't cause any disturbance. So this is very shocking for everybody.
News 4 obtained the criminal complaint through a court records search and learned that detectives say Elijah Bieniemy shot his mother with a .22 caliber gun twice, once in the left forearm and once in the shoulder. That bullet, the complaint says, traveled across her chest. The complaint says Mia Bieniemy required surgery to treat her injuries, and part of the bullet is still inside of her body. Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid told reporters today that he's known Mia personally for years and is glad that she's in stable condition.
She's a saint. You know, we all know that, the people that know her. One of God's good blessings right there now. Really special person. So, but things happen, things happen and you got to work through it.
Eric Bieniemy was just days away from beginning his 11th season in Kansas City. He rose to fame working as the Chiefs offensive coordinator from 2018 through 2022, then left and joined the Washington Commanders for the 2023 season. The reason that his family still has the home in Ashburn, just minutes away from the Commanders' practice facility. He returned to the Chiefs for this season, but right now, the franchise says Bieniemy is focused on his family, with his wife recovering in the hospital and his son in jail for allegedly shooting her. Elijah Bieniemy has a preliminary hearing scheduled for August 31st in Loudoun County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. Reporting in Ashburn, Drew Wilder, News 4.
It has been a year now since the head of the D.C. Police Union blew the whistle on how the D.C. Police Department was categorizing crime stats in the city, claiming they were being deliberately manipulated, a claim that launched 3 separate investigations and the resignation of the police chief. As News 4 first reported Friday, the Inspector General found the D.C. Police Department stopped checking crime reports for accuracy back in 2013. So how accurate are crime stats now? News 4's Paul Wagner takes a look.
Reported a violent crime. At the end of last year, D.C. police reported that violent crime here in the city was down 29%. But after 3 investigations, including one by the D.C. Police Department's Internal Affairs Division, found that those crime numbers had been manipulated, and the chief of police recommended that 13 of his officials be fired. Here in the city today, D.C. police are reporting that violent crime is up. The category that immediately catches your eye is assault with a dangerous weapon. According to D.C. police data, it's up 42% when compared to the same time last year. That same report shows other violent crimes like homicides and robberies are down significantly, and sex abuse cases remain flat. That means the spike in ADWs is so high that MPD says violent crime is now up 2%, but overall crime is down 20%.
I think the reason for that is that the number one category of crime that the department was manipulating over this time frame was ADWs. They were classifying those as felony assaults, they were classifying them as misdemeanors, they were classifying them in other areas that wouldn't be reported to the UCR or to the DC crime reporting system in order to avoid having to properly report that crime was going up.
In a statement to News 4, Interim Chief of Police Jeffrey Carroll says crime has been steadily declining since the summer of 2023, but assault with a dangerous weapon is up. Chief Carroll says, and we are taking a comprehensive approach to address this trend. Part of that work includes strengthening our internal practices. In addition to the crime classification, virtual training completed by all MPD members in March, we are developing in-person, in-service training on crime classification to ensure every member is confident and consistent in applying the DC code. Chief Carroll also says a significant percentage of domestic violence cases are classified as ADW, which he says continues to be a serious challenge in our community. The chief has also established the Office of Data Integrity and Analytics and launched new training classes for officers.
There is training, and it has been mandated for all sworn personnel from the chief of police down to the newest recruit that we have to go through this online training to make sure that we're properly classifying reports and that there's no tolerance for misclassifying, underclassifying, or not reporting crimes that we're investigating.
D.C. Police Union President Greg Pemberton blew the whistle on crime reporting last July, calling the decrease in violent crime D.C. police were reporting as, quote, preposterous. Now, 1 year later, Pemberton says he's confident the crime stats are being accurately recorded.
And so when we came out with that information back in July of last year, we wanted people to see that that was incorrect and it was not right and there was corruption afoot. And I'm glad that people got to the bottom of it. I'm glad that the interim chief has decided that that's no longer acceptable. And I'm glad the police department has course corrected and it's taking proper police reports.
The internal affairs report shows a total of 19 officials on the department were either recommended for termination or discipline at the conclusion of its investigation. In the district, Paul Wagner, News 4.
We've been telling you that Fairfax County Police are increasingly concerned about a spike in traffic fatalities. Road deaths have more than doubled so far this year compared to last year. Today, expert driving instructors with Fairfax County Police offered News4 a rare inside look at the training they provide to their officers about safe driving in the hopes that everyday drivers become safer. News4 transportation reporter Adam Tuss is in Chantilly with the story.
This is the FCPD Emergency Vehicle Operations Center. And it's on these courses that invaluable driving lessons can be learned. Everything from avoiding skids to stopping quickly with the weight of the car balanced, even how you should hold your hands on the steering wheel.
Hands are at 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. If you want to turn, hands meet at 12, hands meet at 6, and then back the other way. My arm never crosses over in front of the airbag, which could deploy and put my arm in front of my face.
Fairfax County Master Police Officer Gerald Burke has been with FCPD for decades. He trains new officers on safe driving techniques.
Don't drive with your emotions. Don't try to drive outside your skill level. I know some people get frustrated, they get stressed in a car. You can't drive with your emotions because it causes you to make decisions that are poor and do things that are outside your skill level, and that's how people get hurt.
Now look, Officer Burke says the worst thing you can do if you find yourself in a tricky situation behind the wheel is not react at all. That's why we're out here telling you how these officers drive, and you can apply it to your driving. We took a ride as one officer showed us what to do in the case of a skid on a slick roadway. Oh my goodness.
We teach the driver off the gas, off the brake, counter steer in the opposite direction, and then look and steer where you want to go once you've regained your traction.
He says you can't always rely on your vehicle's safety features to save you.
The main thing is you have to react. The quicker you react, the quicker you're going to save yourself.
Also, Officer Burke says awareness is key. Put the brakes on distractions while you drive. He knows what he's talking about.
Think about it. Police officers are everyday drivers. It's where they spend the most of their time, is driving around all day.
Real-world rules of the road to keep everyone safe. In Chantilly, Adam Tuss, News 4.
Now to the growing frustration and heartbreak for hundreds of incoming Howard University students who were unenrolled after missing a tuition payment deadline. Howard University says it repeatedly warned students ahead of the July 10th deadline, but many of those students tell News 4 the communications were confusing and say they were still waiting on scholarships and financial aid, which typically aren't awarded until August. News 4's Amy Cho has the story.
So right there in writing, we have proof that she was given that information.
This is the folder Ariel Moore's family hopes to use to convince Howard University to let her back in. The incoming freshman traveled from New York to plead her case after learning last week she'd been unenrolled for missing a July 10th payment deadline. Moore says the school had previously told her the money wasn't due until later.
I was planning on moving in August 7th, ordering my dorm stuff, so now this is like crazy. I know a lot of other colleges are not accepting students anymore, so it's like put me in a weird position.
Moore is one of 502 students unenrolled from Howard last week. Her family says she turned down scholarships from other schools because she wanted to be a Bison.
For her to just have worked so hard and then it just gets snatched away from her at the last minute for no reason, because she's already turned down the other scholarships. So this is really can change the whole projection of her future.
Howard University says it did repeated outreach to students and families between March and July, informing them of the payment deadlines. The university has declined News 4's numerous requests for an interview, but says it's reviewing cases individually to decide which students will be reinstated. Incoming freshman Isabella Williams was able to get her spot back, but still plans to advocate for her peers who weren't as lucky.
I know that education is the gateway to anything, really anything you want in life, you need an education. And these students are having it stripped away from them, and I just don't think that's fair. If there's anything that I can do to help them, I will.
Over the weekend, interim university president Wayne Frederick told CNN he apologizes for the stress of the last-minute notice, but he defended the school's decision, saying they've been too lax in the past about letting students carry balances.
Just 2 months ago, we were asking our community to donate money to help students graduate. And so starting with a good financial plan is important. Our graduation rate is not 100%, and that gap is primarily due to lack of finances. And we have limited resources that we're trying to stretch as much as possible.
Howard University says it'll refund students for any payments and scholarships they sent, but the $800 housing and tuition deposits they put down are non-refundable. Amy Cho, News 4.
The University of the District of Columbia is giving those unenrolled Howard students a lifeline. UDC says it is now extending its application deadline to August 7th. And New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced today that SUNY and CUNY schools are offering a fast-tracked admissions process to those schools. They will receive $800 to help cover the deposits they forfeited. And still ahead tonight, how would you feel if your kids went to school year-round? After the break, we'll show you the school here in our region that is using that model. Plus, Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Doug Kammerer is tracking our storm chances for tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be right back. While some families are still enjoying their summer and maybe preparing for the first day of school, summer break is already over for students and teachers at Samuel Tucker Elementary in Alexandria. They headed back to the classroom today, 4 weeks before the rest of the students in the school district. News 4's Jessica Albert was there this morning as buses rolled in and teachers and staff welcomed students on the first day.
Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. Yes, those are school buses outside of Samuel Tucker Elementary in Alexandria. And yes, those are students heading to class for a new school year, including little Liam, whose mother dropped him off for his first day of third grade.
Excited for him and nervous at the same time.
It seems a little early, but not for Tucker. We are the only modified calendar school in Alexandria City.
A modified calendar means these students are in school almost year-round with a shorter summer break. But they do get two-week breaks, one in the fall and another in the spring. They're called intersessions. They give school staff a break, but also
it's also an opportunity for our students, should they choose to attend the intercession program, to take part in both enrichment and remediation instruction.
Liam's mom tells us she's gotten used to the school's schedule.
We do have longer breaks with them during the school year, so it's good.
Samuel Tucker Elementary's fall break begins October 1st. In Alexandria, Jessica Albert, News 4.
Right, so some families really like the summer break to make vacation plans and to spend more time with their families. But a lot of advocates for this year-round school model say that it prevents the summer slide and it gives kids really a head start as they head into a new school year. So very interesting story there. Thanks to Jessica. Now let's check in with Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Doug Kammerer. It was steamy out there today.
Yeah, it was a hot day, but not bad. We didn't have a whole lot of humidity. We did hit 90 degrees, but that's average for this time of year. And really, D.C., the only area that hit 90, everybody else in the upper 80s. Not bad at all. 85 Gaithersburg today, 84 in Annapolis, 82 Patuxent River. Most of us stayed on the dry side, although we did see a couple of showers out there. Out there towards Reston right now, we also have some wildfire smoke in the atmosphere. It's not at the surface, so you're not going to smell it, but it's out there once again as we continue to see some wildfires off towards the Pacific Northwest as well as in towards Canada. Here we are at 87 degrees right now. Notice the dew point at 62, so no heat index out there right now. So it's fairly comfortable and will continue to be. Right now, temperature-wise at Gaithersburg at 84, 84 as well as Frederick, Martinsburg at 84 degrees, 87 at Culpeper and Manassas, and Fredericksburg coming in at 86. So a nice afternoon area-wide. Now, I mentioned those showers. There have been a couple forming along the bay here. So between Baltimore and Annapolis, a nice little thunderstorm there in through parts of Prince George's County. We've seen a couple of showers develop here right around and just to the east of Clinton, Upper Marlboro. You've seen a couple of showers in your location. Now, the wider picture showing what's coming our way tomorrow. We got a lot of action up here towards parts of the Great Lakes. Had some tornadic activity in towards areas around Chicago, just to the north of Chicago. A couple of confirmed tornadoes there, and that system working its way through Cincinnati, and then our direction as well. And we could see some of these storms coming in on our Tuesday, and our Tuesday could become a severe weather day and maybe a weather alert day as well. Overnight into early tomorrow morning, here's 7 a.m. We could even see some of that action move through overnight tonight, maybe as early as 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it might actually wake you up. And then watch what happens tomorrow afternoon. We see a little bit of a recharge in the atmosphere, and then by 3 o'clock, we're starting to see more storms develop right on through the evening rush. Here we are around 5:30, so getting wet is making your way up and down I-95, maybe at 270, seeing some of those storms coming through, and as I mentioned, some of those could be strong to severe. Should be done by 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and mostly a dry day on our Wednesday. But once again, tomorrow, stormy at times, maybe early, and then again during the late afternoon. That's the best chance for those storms right during the evening rush. Temperatures into the mid-80s for the most part. I'm going for a high temperature tomorrow of 86 degrees. 86 tomorrow, 85 on Wednesday. Slight chance of a storm on Wednesday. And then look at Thursday and Friday. Really nice weather here. 85 Thursday, 87 on Friday. Humidity will not be that big of an issue. It'll climb a little bit for the weekend. Saturday, a high of 89. Sunday and Monday, a couple of chances for storms there too, but nothing too big. And then it does look like we try to get back into the 90s as we make our way towards the middle of next week. So we'll be watching that. But one thing for sure, we're definitely watching tomorrow. Once again, our Tuesday could become a weather alert day, and we'll have much more on that as we make our way through your day on your Tuesday and, of course, the rest of this week.
Thank you, Doug. Now to a wellness trend we hear a lot about during the summer hot months. People adding electrolytes to their drinks to combat the heat or get an edge after a workout. The electrolyte beverage market has nearly doubled since 2020. It is now a $40 billion industry and projected to grow to $82 billion worldwide by 2034. But some experts say most people don't even need it. News 4's Erica Gonzalez spoke to a local doctor to explain who actually benefits from electric lights and who may be wasting money.
It's a small packet that claims to pack a big punch. Electrolytes are all the rage, with people adding them to water for extra hydration and health benefits. But who really needs it?
Water is and always should be the go-to.
Dr. Elizabeth Kramer is with Kaiser Permanente and says for most people, regular water is just fine. But she says there are some cases when electrolyte drinks are beneficial.
Electrolyte drinks may be warranted with prolonged sports, like intense sports or prolonged activity. Then electrolyte drinks could be beneficial. But for the majority of us, really sticking with the 8 ounces, 8 times a day, 64 ounces, that should be something we should all stick with.
She adds that electrolytes can also help us replenish minerals that are lost when spending hours outside in the extreme heat or when we're recovering from an illness involving vomiting or diarrhea. but be sure to check the label. Dr. Kramer says some packets carry up to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which can be problematic.
Sodium can have an adverse effect on our blood pressure, meaning when we take too much sodium in with our diet, and that includes our drinks, it can raise our blood pressure. Specifically, some patients with heart failure or kidney disease should actually be sodium restricted in their diet.
Bottom line, she says you're likely getting everything you need from water and a balanced diet.
There's certainly a big uptake there on social media that is not necessarily explained by science and backed up by science. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's all I tell my patients at Kaiser Permanente.
And stay with us. The News 4 Rundown. We'll be right back. Over the years, the Mubadala DC Open has also grown into sort of a food festival. There's so many options for good food there. News 4's Jumi Olabanji and Melissa Malay spoke with Chef Victor Albisu from Taco Bamba about some of the pairings he's serving up.
This week, some of the biggest names in tennis are in D.C. for the Mubadala D.C. Open, and all of the action is taking place at Rock Creek Park, and that's where tournament goers will get to watch some of the greatest tennis players, but also eat from some of our best local restaurants.
Here to talk about some of those pairings is Chef Victor Albisu from Taco Bamba, and of course, you brought some tacos.
I did.
Lots of
Thank you for having me.
things.
Thank you for having me.
So amazing in here. Now, we talked with Mark Ein last week, I think, and he was telling us how things are going to kind of be tweaked a bit this year as far as elevating all of the food, and you're part of that.
Well, I'll tell you, since Mark took over the tournament, it's never stopped elevating. It's never stopped getting better. I think this is the event of the summer for DC. The DC Open has never been better, and I'm a big tennis guy.
Yeah.
I go to all the tournaments. I've been honestly all over the world watching tennis, and this is one of the very best events right here in our backyard. So we're serving up some classics, some fun stuff, and some kind of stuff that we hadn't done yet. We're doing some crispy fish tacos. We're also doing clean style tacos in case anybody's ever had these. These are great for the carb conscious crowd. For people who don't care, we have nachos and we have the Jeffrey.
What is in that thing?
It's al pastor, chorizo, onions, peppers, carne asada, queso.
Now, you guys just continue to expand.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Your latest location coming up, you're thinking Bethesda?
We are absolutely going to Bethesda on Fairmount Avenue. It's one of the places that it was the loudest, please bring a Bamba to us.
Okay.
So we're super excited to go to Bethesda. It's a great old Mexican spot that we're converting into a modern Mexican spot, and with a huge patio, nice bar, and it'll be a whole new menu. Every Bamba gets its own menu, so we're very excited for the Bethesda menu.
How does it make you feel to be able to have this growth, not just at the Open, but here in the DMV?
Yeah, it's such a wonderful thing. It's such a wonderful thing to see an idea grow and to have so many people enjoy it and identify with it.
Yeah.
Now, we've been around for like 13, 14 years, and we still have this weird, like, underdog dog cult following thing that, like, never leaves us.
Yes. What's your favorite?
What's my favorite right now on the table? Probably the Taco Bamba's got the most action on it. It's got grilled guacamole, seared carne asada, chorizo, all chicharrones, cotija cheese. It's got the works on it. But the nachos are a lot of fun. You know, it's a great thing to take into the stadium. That's what I would recommend everybody. Take all this food in the stadium and you know, bring a dustbuster.
Okay, so where can folks get more information about Taco Bamba, find all your locations?
We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. We're on our website. I'll be at the DC Open every day, and you guys can come and say hello.
Okay.
Awesome. We will. Save us a seat.
Yeah, and some nachos.
Yes.
Please.
Now I want some Taco Bamba. That does it for the News 4 Rundown. We'll see you for News 4 at 11 tonight. I'm Eun Yang. Have a great night, everyone.